position.
New setting today.
New setup. But we're like, I don't know, getting closer and closer. I feel it.
Yeah.
I feel
I'm
it.
so excited.
Me too. Erica,
Oh
she's
God.
going to get upset. I knew it. Got our floors done, and they look, it is a different apartment.
I feel like I'm like, oh, I like this place now.
Yeah. I like, the carpet is beautiful. The hardwood floors are beautiful. It like really looks so good. So
yeah, it's nice.
You can't see the floors, but they look really good.
It makes the space feel so much more open. There are definitely little things that I'm like, if I think about it, I'm going to be annoyed. But overall, if you think about where we came from with wine stain, brown spot, weird, like super slick wood where the dogs were like ice skating around. And it's just...
Luna can actually walk on this floor.
Yeah. Like she's hanging out here, which I feel like she never would do with the other stuff. So
Yeah.
it's good. It's
yes.
good. Good changes.
Yeah. So we're out of my room and back into the dining room area. So we're excited about that.
We got inspired by the flooring guys who moved the couch over here, and we're like, wait.
This actually looks really good.
This looks good. Let's try this.
Yeah, so, and it feels good. It feels better. And we have like the natural light from the other side too coming in. So just we're all about lighting and, all those things.
The feng shui.
Well, this is our Valentine's Day episode. And so for our 10 and 10, I wanted to do 5 or 10 things that we love about love. I can go first.
Okay.
This is pretty hard for me to do, but Eric was like, it was your idea. My first one is knowing that there's someone there for you. I think, like, with unconditional love, no matter if it's a partner, someone that you're falling in love with, a friend, parents, sisters, or something, like, the feeling of, like, love and knowing that someone is always there for you is the top.
Yeah, I agree. Regardless of, like, if you're with them, like that you can count on them, which is a very good feeling.
Yeah. I feel like there's not a lot of people I could call like in the middle of the night. Like even people that I do consider love, but that like strength of love of knowing that person is always going to be there for you is like very, very special.
Yeah. That's actually the call in the middle of the night I had to do the other day because I didn't have my key to get in. And it's like, I feel like if you were anyone else, I would have been like so like self-conscious that I had to keep calling you to get in the house.
Oh yeah. Same,
but I was also like, I know she's not gonna be mad.
Yeah.
Like I know that she'll be like, oh yeah, I'll let you in.
Yeah.
And then whatever. Like not that I was okay with waking you up, but it's like
Oh yeah. Well, when you love someone and you know that they love you, it's like you kind of don't feel like you're walking on eggshells maybe, or just you're more like, well, they love me no matter what I do when I forget my keys or when or whatever.
Yeah.
So
no, it's good. My first one, and because I think I'm in my quiet era, is that I love when you love someone so you feel comfortable in the silence. And there are people that it's like, maybe I don't love them, I really like them and I get along well with them, but I feel like I have to be like entertaining, and then I get home and I'm like, oh my gosh, I think that was a lot. But then like the people that you love or feel like connected to, it's like we don't have to be talking. Like I feel like when we drive, sometimes we don't speak at all. And I don't feel like it's awkward. I'm just like, we're just driving to the thing and we're silent because we're about to go be social for 3 hours, and that's fine, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I totally agree with that one. The feeling of being wanted by someone else, this is more like a partner kind of love. But I think when you love yourself and you have friends and family that love yourself, it's very special. And then adding on top of that, like someone not blood related, not someone that's known you, someone that's like trying to get to know you, to like start a life with you, they want you. And when they love you, it's like they want you all the time, and just feeling like attracted to them or attractive to them is, I love that feeling. It feels great.
It's nice to be wanted. Yeah, I agree. This is a newer one for me, and I think it's just come with maturity, and I think what I love about love is the ability to hear harsh truth. I think that my reactive younger self, when someone that I love or loved me told me something that like maybe was hard to hear, my immaturity would like push them away or shut them down. But I feel like as I've gotten older or matured, I like am glad that someone feels comfortable telling me if I'm like in the wrong, or like if they would appreciate if I don't know, did something differently, because it's like I want them, I'm glad they feel comfortable enough to tell me, and I want to feel comfortable enough to tell them, and I think that's love.
Yeah, totally. This is similar to your silence one, but doing nothing is always something. Like, same thing when you're just doing nothing, like around the house with people that you love. It doesn't really feel like nothing. It feels like good, valuable time that you're just like, I needed this for one,
Yeah.
and two, like, I feel love and so like comfortable in my own space, like in my own space to do nothing with you, you know?
The difference between being home, like in this house by myself, versus having you here, even if we're not hanging out, even when I'm just like working and I just know that you're there, it's like I just feel happier.
Let me tell you, there are times where I will just like speak, you know, like how
Yeah.
when we're at the house, sometimes it's like, hey, da da da, and like, can you hear me or something? And then I'll say something like, oh, whatever, blah blah blah, and then I'm like, can you hear me? And then I'm like, she's not here. Like, she is not even in the house right now. Like, that is crazy that I just did that. I'm like, hello?
I do it all the time when you're like in the kitchen with your headphones. I like have a whole conversation, and then I'm like, Ellie.
When I have my headphones on and you come around and you're like, hi, and I'm like, oh, sorry. You're like, oh, yeah, I did just say something.
I did say a joke, and now it's not funny.
No.
So, love it. Okay, I have someone to dream with.
Oh, that was kind of like, that was my next one, future planning.
Yeah.
Like, I know.
It's so nice. It's just like, it's nice to think about your own future by yourself, but it's also nice to just dream with someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't even have to be like a romantic love. I think that it's just like a love in general of like planning and what you want to do and what does that look like. And I mean, like setting goals, even the episode we had about like, yeah, let's camp more this year. It's like, that's exciting.
Yeah.
I like that.
Definitely. And just like, even if it's like wild and you know it's not going to happen, it's just fun to bounce ideas off somebody and just like, I don't know. I mean, it's fun to do by yourself to think of all of these things, but to have another person to share that with is very special.
Yeah.
My last one is the warm and fuzzies. Like, I just, you know that feeling. Like, I love because I love that like warm, fuzzy feeling that you get once you like know, you know?
I do.
So, yeah.
I have two more. How is that possible?
Because I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I put my future planning. I threw into your one,
like,
too.
I still have two to go. Well, the last two I have, one of them is safety.
Ooh, I love that.
I think that. Okay.
I cannot wait.
I want to say this in a way that's like, not that I. Okay.
I feel like you're trying to, like, I don't even know. Ellie, shut up. Don't add to the chaos.
We had someone try and like break into our house. It was a whole fiasco. And I feel like Mr. Force cares and was like, we're going to go get you a new lock. We're going to do this thing in the window. Like, we're going to set you up to feel safe, which is like literal safety. But it was nice to feel like someone like cared about our protection and like safety in the house. Totally. And I think that is just a nice feeling to have.
It really is.
And the last one I had was silliness, which I think like maybe it's just comfort. Like all of these, as I was writing them down, I'm like, harsh truth, I feel comfortable. Dream with, I feel comfortable. Safety, I feel comfortable. Silliness, it's like I'm comfortable to be weird and to do silly things and to laugh at ourselves, and it's because we love each other.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, well, I love you. Happy Galentine's.
I love you. Yeah, happy Galentine's. Fun.
I love it. I can't wait.
Love.
I do love love. I was telling Erica, I was like, wow, it's been a long time since I've been in love, so we'll see. But I think, like, to your point, when I asked her about the 10 and 10, I was like, do you want to do one that's like about love or one that's like in love? And you had said like, no, love, because there's so much love for like friends. Like our love is different than your and Mr. Ford's love, and like the friends love. That was crazy that I had to like really make sure I did
I
that.
have to think about it every time.
So I do appreciate the other types of love in my
Yeah.
life, and they're just so special. And so to be able to take this time, even though people have thoughts about Valentine's Day, like even if you're not with someone, like take stock of the other things that you love in your life, like my dogs, my friends, my mom and my dad, and my sisters, and let's just name everything.
Everything I love, including myself, which is why we're talking about glow-ups today.
I am pumped for this episode. I think
Yeah.
after having our conversation last night at trivia, I was like, oh, all of these thoughts are like flooding back in of like my glow up.
Yeah, no, it's actually crazy. And maybe we could start with the superficial of physical appearance, because as I'm sure we'll post for this episode, I thought I was hot shit, and I had no eyebrows. They were gone.
The eyebrow saga is crazy.
It's so bad. Like, I'm like, girl, what were you doing? I do know in college, anxiety, I would rip them out. So that was different than in high school. I would tweeze them and think that, like, like, literally it was like one eyebrow hair in the line.
Thin eyebrows were in, but yeah, like going out of my way to pluck a thin eyebrow versus like stressing, is so different. Like I was like, oh yeah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm like, stick it back in.
And I would like tweeze in and tweeze above, so it was literally like a straight line. Like it was so bad. So I think my eyebrows now are really great, and they're thick, and I can brush them, and that's one physical thing of my glow up that I'm just happy with. I'm happy they grew back, honestly.
Yeah. I think for me, my biggest glow up was my skincare routine.
That's also
and
fair.
I knew we've talked about this before, and I remember being so baffled when you were like, yeah, I just splashed some water on my face, and I'm like, because I mean, physical appearance has always been very important. It's important to everybody. So especially when you're younger. So from like the get-go, middle school into high school, like I established a skincare routine because I had pretty bad, as everybody does, hormonal acne is a thing. And I would try all of like the Pinterest masks. We've already had this whole thing, but I think establishing like a really, really good skincare routine was like my glow up, because it was like dedication and also learning like what worked with my skin and what didn't. Because just walking into Sephora and picking out some like random foundation and going home and I look back at those photos and I'm like, the skin tone difference between the two. I was like, that the orange. I'm like, that just really was not good. I think also like to that same point, the use of makeup has been a glow. Like I've never been a makeup person really, but I think like I just assumed I knew what I was doing. And now that I think about it, like I'm like, was this glow up or just maturity? But I think it's a combination of the two. But even as an adult now, like I am still not real, like neither of us are really big makeup wearers, but it's the product that I get, the use that I put on my face, and just things like that I feel has like helped me glow up in my physical appearance.
Yeah, the skincare piece is huge. I would literally put on foundation the moment I like got out of the water from swim practice. Like I was wearing cover up all the time, and I think because my acne was way worse then, but I think it was also probably really bad because I was wearing foundation all the time.
Yeah.
Like I think I was just perpetuating the issue, and I didn't know how to solve it. And I think at the time it was like, get on birth control, or like use this topical that's gonna like peel your skin off, and it was just like the solutions weren't great, and my own like discovery in skincare I wasn't like taking the time to like learn what I'm putting on my skin. It was like, yeah, this seems right, or I can't see my zits anymore with this on, so let me just keep piling it on my face.
Yeah, definitely. Bad.
I barely wear makeup now. And
Yeah.
I think it's because I actually like know how to take care of my skin. And then when I do wear makeup, it like accentuates my natural beauty instead of like covering things.
Totally. I was gonna say, my like physical glow up, I think, has always had like a wave to it, because I think, like, when we asked one of our guy friends last night, they said that their glow up, like their first glow up was high school. And at first I was kind of like, what are you talking about? But I think to that point, yeah, there was that middle school to high school, like you finally kind of are like settling into like all of these like body changes.
Yeah.
But outside of all of that, I still think like all throughout high school, everything was just so hormonal, and like the maturity level was really, really low. So I think as far as like the glow up maybe after that point, college was really, really tough. I had a lot of stuff going on, and I think the transitioning from swimming all the time versus not swimming all the time had a huge impact on my physical appearance. I was not taking care of myself physically at all. I was eating like, there was no rhyme or reason to my eating patterns. It was like, I mean, freshman 15, everybody like jokes about, but it was like freshman 15 and then sophomore 30 and then junior, like it kept going, because I just did not have like proper self-care things. Like I just did not know how to take care of myself. And I think eating was like such an outlet, I think, especially when you grew up as like an athlete, you think that you're like, oh, well, maybe I'm moody because I'm hungry. I'm like, maybe you're moody because your parents are getting a divorce and you should probably just go talk about it. Like, stop eating. And I think that is when I like just had no interest in, I mean, obviously interest in my physical appearance, but I was like, I'm not going to do anything about it. Like, I just kind of blacked out, really.
Yeah.
That I was like, I'm not really going to set up any like self-care routines. I'm not going to do any of that. And then after college, or like even junior, senior year of college, I think is when I started to be like, oh, okay, now I'm picking out a major for my future career. Like, what are my goals? Like, what is happening in my life? Did I really like sit down and be like, okay, what do I need to do? And I think that's when I was like, okay, let me start taking care of my hair. My hair has a whole journey. Like, let me start taking care of like more, taking care of my face, eating better, things like that. And then I think like my overall biggest physical glow up was 2021, the year after COVID, that I just was like, I don't think I've ever been so passionate about the gym and working out and my learning about my body than I had been at that time. And I think that was like my big transition into like, all right, I'm like, that was past Ellie. Like, I want to be healthy and I want to look good and feel good. And this is how I want to be for the rest of my life. And that was my big like physical glow up, I think.
Dang. I think mine has been very recent. In my like physical glow up, because 2020 2021 okay, like when I first moved down here, I was in probably the best shape of my life because I had just come from like working out all the time and getting paid to do it to sitting at a desk all day, and I didn't know how to handle stress. I didn't have therapy. I was in a relationship that wasn't healthy. There was a ton of family stuff going on. Like, all of that, I didn't have the best, like, coping skills for, and I was living alone. And so I think, like, I just started gaining weight, and it wasn't until probably I started training for the Ironman, I was almost 200 pounds.
It's like...
It's crazy. I think it also speaks to confidence. Because even though there were definitely 100% days or times where I was like, Erica, you are, like, I was just being mean to myself.
Yeah.
And, like, beating myself up. But then I would pull myself out of it. And, like, especially, like, you moving down here, it was like, I'm with my best friend. Like, we're going out. I don't care. And not that, like, pulling guys is, like, a sign of how attractive you are. Because I also think I just didn't have a ton of self-respect, maybe. But, like, I was still really heavy and doing it, and like I think I was just like confident and like, yeah, I'm hot and hey, I don't know what
no,
it
I
is.
totally
Like,
I know.
But then it was like I started having like back pain. I was like, I am 25 years old and this cannot be my life. and this is not healthy. And I think leaving that job was a huge thing. Getting into therapy was a huge thing. Like, I don't think I could have just been like, oh, I'm going to start working out more, and that would have solved the issue. I think it was all around like just investing in my mental health that allowed me to like take care of my physical so that I could like be motivated or have the capacity to train for that and then to like maintain. And it's like, no, I couldn't go do a half Ironman again tomorrow, but I can go run 6 miles and I can like go to the gym, and I'm not like so out of shape or as heavy as I was to where it's like I have no cardio like I have. And it's fine if that's where you are right now. Like I've been there.
Yeah. I even think too, like, it goes like in waves sometimes. Like during that time, we'll talk about like other glow up, but like during 2021, like I did think I looked really good, but there were so many other things going on in my life that I was not thrilled. Like I did not have any other outlet. I was like, the only thing I was doing was going to work and working out. Like that was pretty much it. So it's like I looked good, but I didn't feel good. Mm-hmm. And then even now, like if I go through our YouTube from the podcast, because it's basically like a video journal, literally. There are some like times I can tell exactly where I was or what was going on in my life at the time based on what I looked like because of stress, whether it was just like stress overall, stress eating, stress drinking. Like I can just tell. And even though like, I mean, still beautiful throughout all of that, and even now like I can see like, okay, I was really, you know, probably a lot more healthy physically here than I was here because I was in this shit job crying all the time. Whereas like it just comes in waves. But I think like the established like routine and being able to I will never go back to what it was before. Like even during this time of living in San Diego, it's been waves and I've still been figuring it out. And I'm like, I think the glow up is still glowing up. I think it's ongoing, if I'm being completely honest. But I think it's just like a wave of like figuring it out, and sometimes like life just really knocks it out of you. But I know that I will never go back to feeling or looking or being that person, because I love her and she was great and she needed to do what she needed to do then. But I'm just like, I'm so much like, I'm hot now. Like I thought I was hot then, I'm hot now.
No, I think one of the biggest things that I've learned in therapy, and that I think has allowed me to like not necessarily fall back. It's yes, there are hard days and hard times, but like when I've gone to therapy and I'm telling her all these like, oh my gosh, there's a stressful thing, there's this happening, and it's like the basics. It's like, have you eaten today? Did you shower? Have you drank any water? Mm-hmm. Have you gone outside? And it's like, it's a good reminder for me of like, usually when I'm spiraling and having those moments, kind of what you said today, you're like, I think I'm just going to go on a walk and like that will help. And not that it's going to solve all your problems, but it does, I think, allow you to like keep moving through them.
Yes. Because
when you don't do the basic things for your health, that's when it's like just perpetually gets worse, the issue. It's like maybe whatever, you resolve the thing at work, but it's like now you are 20 pounds heavier and you are breaking out and all these other things. Now you're stressed out about that, where it's like, it's way easier said than done to be like, all right, now I'm going to pull it together and make myself some food. But sometimes like that's what you need to spend the energy doing instead of like trying to solve the other problem, because this eating is going to help you have the energy to do more.
Well, that itself is a glow up. Like I just think like even when it comes to exercising, like I would just, you know, look at myself in the mirror and be so frustrated and then go run and just be like, okay, that'll fix it. Or like go to the gym and lift and do all of these crazy Tabata things and be like, okay, that's done. And it's like, that doesn't really do anything. Like my glow up now is like, I need to stretch. Yeah. Like I need to stretch in order to maintain the things that I want to do. Mm-hmm. And that's something that is important to me. Whereas like before I would look and like, it would be how flat my stomach is. Mm-hmm. And now it's like, that's not a priority. That's not something that I even like am worried about. It's more so of like, can I move? Like, do my knees hurt? Or is my back hurting? Like, can I do these things? And I think that itself is like just a glow up too. But I guess that's more like mental glow up than physical.
I mean, I feel like that goes hand in hand. It's like as we're talking about it, I'm realizing how when I'm talking about like my skincare or I'm talking about like I don't know, just anything physical, it's like all the other work that I've done on my mental has allowed me, I think, to get here. Because I do think if I just would have been like having all the stress and then also being like, and now I need to learn how to do makeup. Like, it just wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
But working on my own stress management and my own, like, coping, and not that any of those things are fixed, but being able to have skills to navigate them, I think that it allows me the space to work on my physical.
Yeah.
Like, I trained for the triathlon when I was unemployed. And if I didn't have, like, the mental capacity to be like, all right, that is, like, that box, but I also still need to take care of myself. I think if I just focused on, like, I have no money and I have no job and just, like, kept sitting in that, I would have continued to just get heavier and more unhealthy.
Well, that's exactly what happened to me. You guys would go on this bike ride and I'd be like... And it wasn't until I was like, I need to do... Like, my outside life isn't changing. I'm still unemployed. I mean, I have... Like, this is where I'm at.
Yeah.
Do I still want to do this? No. I don't want to be feeling like this all the time. Let's sign up for a race. And then I was able to do that. So if you like just sit in it and you mope and you like, it doesn't change anything. Like just do a little bit here and there. It is really tough. I think another thing that I just thought of too is my glow up when it comes to fashion.
Oh my gosh.
I still think I have so much to learn. I really wish I was more of a fashion person. Haley, who we've had on the podcast, I'm like really eventually want to like reach out and be like, take me thrifting, show me how, like what works for me.
Let's go through my closet and how can I like organize pieces to make an outfit.
And tell me like to get rid of stuff. When we did that like color palette AI thing that you showed me, changed my life.
Oh yeah.
You know, so it's like obviously, I'm wearing a shirt that says the Ministry of Silly Walks that I thrifted, so probably not the best example of, like,
my fashion glow up is crazy.
But I think, like, you guys remember my first day of school picture with my purple jeans and my black shirt and my checkered Vans and my green and black checkered backpack? It's like... Welly, what were you thinking? And then, like, just, I mean, we've had this before, but I think, like, also learning what fits me, like, it's okay that some jeans I'm going to be an 8, and then randomly some jeans I'm going to be a 4.
That's
sometimes I'm even a 12 in a certain thing, and that is okay. Like, don't buy things just to buy them. Like, if it doesn't
it's like,
fit,
this is my size, and I have to fit into it.
Yes, that has been so much of a glow up for me too.
Huge, yeah.
And it just is growth. Like even now with the clothes in my closet, like there are some things when I'm on my period or very bloated that I can't wear, and it's like I am not gonna put myself through hell to try to squeeze into this. Like that doesn't make me feel good and won't make anybody else feel good, you know? Yeah. So I think just when it comes to like clothing and just being comfortable, and yeah, that has been a glow up, I think. Mm-hmm. And still, because I think during COVID and working out, I had a job where I had a uniform. So it was really, even now, like I have a job that has a uniform. So it's like jeans and the shirt that I wear to work. And that's how it was. And then on like my downtime, I'm either like working out or walking the dog. So it's a lot of it is like working out clothes or like leggings or bike shorts, but big t-shirts that I'm wearing now, which is good. But it's like, how can I make it a set? Mm-hmm. And or how can I, you know, get maybe like cute shoes or socks to, you know, go with that. And I think before I didn't really think about that. I'd be like, oh, this is just what I'm wearing. I'm cute, so I'll make it cute. Yeah. Which maybe is not the best thought process for me to have. But yeah, that has been, I mean, even in college, I was like, I mean, even Australia, I'm like, what was I thinking wearing that? That's crazy.
I know. But it's a confidence thing. If you're like feeling fine in it, then it's fine. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think for myself, another glow up is my self-respect and boundaries in dating, and this was a recent thing. This was within not even the last year, like the last 9 months. Because as you may have remembered from my Dating Horror Stories episode, and it was fine. I was going on crazy dates. I was planning half of them, more than half probably. I was going out again with people I wasn't interested in. I was sleeping with people. Like, it was just like for the plot, and that's fun, and it was fine. But I also, at the same time, the more I did it, the like worse I felt. And I was like, this is like exhausting, but it's good content. And like that was how I was motivating myself to do it. And then I paid a lot of money to have someone tell me like I should stop doing that, and that like I need to think about what it is that I actually want, and to not allow anything that's not that in my life.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was a big moment of growth, and not even a moment, but just like a practice, because I would find myself like justifying why they didn't make a plan, or like that I could maybe see a reason to go on a second date with them, but it was like I didn't want to, or I didn't feel heard, or different things. And I think in the long run, finding my own strength to like say no, or to like cut it off, and to like text people that like, hey, I'm not interested, which is just like a thing I hadn't really done before.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm in a relationship now where I am respected and heard, and it's great. I didn't know that I could have it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait for that glow up for me. I think it's just growth.
Yeah, I feel like it happens, and I feel like I a little bitter.
It's just so cute.
I feel like I have been, not that you haven't been prioritizing dating, but I think it's been more of a priority for me, and I don't know necessarily that it has been for you as much until maybe more recently.
Yeah. I don't know. I go back and forth. We'll have a whole thing about that. But, like, I don't know. I just think, I mean, yeah, that's my own thing.
Which doesn't, like, I'm not saying you need to prioritize it. I just think that's why it's been a thing in my life that I consider a glow up. Because I feel like I've been spending a lot of time in it.
Yeah.
And, like, trying to make it happen.
It also, like, is exactly, like, the time, or what am I trying to say? What phrase works here? Like, it's this is what happens when you put your mind to something and, like, you actually stick with it, is because, like, you had kind of been talking about it a year ago, like, going back and forth with it and, like, having a better, you know, relationship. And we'd always, you know, not joke around, but, like, kind of be serious and then go out and be like, see you later. Yeah.
I'm going home.
Yeah, going home. But I just think, like, even watching from the outside, like, it is, like, you did put in so much work. Like, it wasn't just like, okay, no, I'm going to dedicate and, like, really just, you know, go on, like, these, like, you put in, like, before, during, after these dates, really had to check in with yourself. You and I had a lot of debriefs, which, like, I'm thankful for.
Yes.
And just to see your own boundary with people and, like, the difference, because of it was, you know, past Erica with some of these other people, or even going out, it would have been a different outcome, rather than just you saying, like, no, I'm putting my mind to it. This is a priority for me. I'm going to make it happen. And you did, and it worked out. But I think it worked out for a lot of reasons, but because, like, this is something that you wanted. And I think not only when you put your mind to something does it happen, but I think allowing yourself to debrief, you found what it is that you like. You loved yourself, you were complete, but I think you were just trying to hone in, like, what it is you were looking for, and what it is that is, like, important to you in somebody else. And you did it, and you found it, and, like, that's awesome to be able to keep that, and also maintain those boundaries within a relationship, which is also, like, where I struggle. I have all of these, like, strict what I think is strict, and then as soon as I let you in, it's like everything floats away and we're like back to square one, you know?
Fully. I feel like I was like, I am perfect and I am ready for a relationship and I have nothing to work on. And I do think like you can put all the time and energy and glow up all you want, and it's not until you get in a relationship that you realize the things that you couldn't work on by yourself because you weren't like you didn't have another person to kind of trigger those behaviors or responses. And so I do think like honestly, as fun as it's been freaking hard.
Yeah.
And I like have to do a lot of like I was talking about this today in therapy. It's unfortunate that sometimes the people that we're the meanest to are the people that we like love the most. And I think maybe it goes to a comfort thing or like being stressed, and it's like I'm comfortable with you, so I take my stress out on you because I love you, and like I can be like, oh, like I can like let go. I don't have to be like on. I don't have to be this like person that's like, oh my gosh, yeah, I love my coworkers. You know, like I'm with you, and so I feel that I can. It's not okay, but that's a more recent thing that it's like when I'm getting overwhelmed or stressed and taking it out on him, I'm like, this is not how I want to show love. So there's more gloves to be done, but I'm glad that I at least am in a relationship where that work can be done and someone is secure enough of themselves to know that like, hey, I can call you out on this and we can work on it together type of thing. And it's not like I'm going to shut down and run away, which I also have done. Like, yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it.
Yeah, the growth never ends.
Yeah.
I think for me though, my like biggest glow up that I think has happened more recently, and by more recently I probably mean like, yeah, this past year and into this year, is like my social glow up, as Kyle said yesterday. Like I don't know. I think with moving around so much, I didn't really know like what a friend was, how to be a friend, how to be a good friend, the different levels of friendship. I just didn't really know, and I never really like cared. And I think I saw one of my friends from college recently got married and had a trip with some of the college friends to Mexico. And I remember looking at her photos recently on Instagram and just being kind of like envious, because I'm like, damn, like if only I put a little bit more effort, the what ifs, like if only I put more effort in those friendships in college, like I could have had that. But it's like, one, everything happens for a reason, which I fully believe. Two is like, yeah, probably I could have maintained those friendships if I was a better friend back then, but I think I had to learn and grow so much and learn what it is to be a good friend, and also what it is I'm looking for in a friend. I think college, you're kind of just like thrown into people, and it's like, oh, whoever's like your next door in your dorm room, like that's who you're friends with, and it was so much fun. But I really did not maintain any friendships. I never checked in with people. It was really hard for me to reach out. It was like the bare minimum. I'm like surprised with even you or, you know, some of my other friends that I've been friends with for a really long time. It's either works because they put in most of the effort, which I feel like you did at the beginning, even now still feel like that, or two,
I wasn't meaning that.
No,
I started agreeing and I don't agree.
Excuse me. Or it was just like a very like low key friendship that just did, or like low maintenance friendship where it just like didn't need much. But I think as I get older, I'm like, I am envious of a lot of people, and I kind of had to do some self-reflection. I'm like, okay, well, you constantly talk about how you want this friend group, or you want people to reach out to, or you need people to talk. Like, these kind of things don't fall on your lap. And I think living with you, and I've mentioned this before, like, not only did I learn about how to be a better friend to you, but like how to be a friend in general. Like, it's not just like, I don't know, it's just different from when you're a kid. And I think I don't know if there was just kind of a disconnect in my brain that I thought that friendships were the same from elementary school all the way into adulthood. You just like meet at the park and you become friends, and that's what it is. And then every time you go to the park, you see them, that's how it's like, it doesn't work like that as an adult. And if you want to maintain friendships you have to do a little bit of work, and there's still a lot of growth that I can do. As far as like reaching out, it's really hard for me to answer messages or answer the phone. I don't know why, but I do think like I've developed a habit of like, if I am thinking of someone and I'm like, oh, I wonder how they are. And it was because I think we talked about it on the podcast and you said it, but it's like such a simple thing of like, oh yeah, they're great. They must be, oh, I hope they're great. Okay. And it's like, well, how do you know? They might not be. Like, you don't know. Just pick up the phone, send a text. If I can't call, just send a text. Mm-hmm. It is what it is, and I think I've gotten a lot better about it. I think I've gotten a lot better about saying yes to social things when the reason before I would say no is only my own anxiety. I still think I have pretty good boundaries when it comes to social events where I'm like, I know I will be like the Eeyore in the group, and I don't really want to be the Eeyore, so I'm going to say no, which I'm glad that I still have, but I think I'm better at just, one, allowing people in my space, and also just being a better friend by like reaching out and having those conversations, and sometimes just saying yes to things. Like, just go do it. See what happens.
Yeah. No, it's
my glow up.
I would agree. It's been fun to watch. And I feel like I've learned how to be a better friend living with you too. Like, I feel like we complement each other in a lot of ways, and where I can maybe say yes too many times. It's like great when we're at a social setting and you're like, I think I'm ready. And I'm like, wow, I've been ready for the last hour and I just never felt like I could say anything. So like, I'm glad we can go. Like, this is great.
Yeah.
It's nice to like, I feel like we balance each other out in that way. And also too, I think I've never lived with a friend before. All of my roommates have been random, or I've lived by myself or with my siblings. And so it's been like good to learn, like, not even that I necessarily needed to learn, but just like our dynamic and how we are in, like, how you are when you wake up, or how I am when I wake up, or how we like to like go about the house stuff, and just like,
it's so funny.
I know.
To think about, really.
I think it's been good because it's like it works for us and we have our little system down, and like I feel like you know my quirks and I know yours, and we like respect each other and do our thing, so it's great.
Yeah. So I think yeah, the social glow up I think is a real one too, because I think it's just a sign of like maturity, of being able to have like good people around. I think there's that, what's that saying, is like you are who you surround yourself with, right? So
yeah.
Like the only people I was surrounding myself before I think was my family, because those were my only people, and I'm glad that I had that time, because I am very close with my family and not a lot of people have that, and I'm very grateful for that. But at the same time, it was like, I am so diverse and I have so many thoughts and feelings that may differ from my family, that I would like to experience these moments or have this conversation with someone that maybe doesn't share my blood. So what can I do to do that? And I think, yeah, moving here to San Diego has been like the biggest like social shift for me. And I mean, I'm excited. It's only going up. So
it's only getting better. So if you want to move to San Diego, it's great. Would recommend.
We've convinced quite a few people already, so
I know, it's wild. We literally were at trivia last night with another friend from high school, and the fact that we're all here right now is crazy.
I think about it way too much. I'm like, what? This is wild. Like when I do think of glow up, glow up, I think of the physical appearance. And I think, to your point, like a lot of it has to do with confidence. We're not saying that you should look a certain way to be happy, but I think there's like confidence along with like being healthy mentally and emotionally in order to just like live a happy and healthy life. And I think that is like the glow up itself, because I'm like, I'm sure I could run more or look better or do all of these things, but it's like I look to the past, which I'm trying to practice on a lot this year, and not look back and not like the person that I was before, but appreciate who she was and who she was in that moment, and also like learn from it. I think a lot of the like growth or glow up that has led me to look the way that I am now, has maybe something to do with like the working out piece, but probably has way more to do about like what's going on up here, how I'm like talking, my inner conversation with myself, the things that I put in my body, just like the different like tweaks here and there, like processed versus, you know, things like that seem so like duh, but really do make like such a huge difference.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're just going to continue. We're just going to get hotter and hotter and hotter the more we do. But yeah, I agree. It's not like you need to look a certain way. And I think we've had episodes on confidence before about like, oh, like here's how you can be more confident. But everything kind of goes hand in hand, and it's fun to see the changes and to like look back and like know that maybe you felt whole or you felt like really confident then, and how much better or more confident you feel now with all the changes that you've had in your life. And I'm excited to see. I know we talked about like getting older, but honestly, I'm like excited for the glow ups that are going to come, like with more life, more experiences.
Yeah, well, because I think, leaving your 20s, I mean, you just kind of like let go of what your like people think of you and maybe what the world is telling you to do, and you kind of just like, well, I don't really care. And I think that in itself is its own glow up, because then you kind of just like walk in and you're like, no, I am gonna try this. Like, there's no need to fit in a box anymore. So not that there ever was a need, but I felt like there was, and I tried to fit myself in there. So that's why I say that.
Same. It's very refreshing to not care.
Yeah.
Well, that's our glow up, and we're excited to continue to glow up the pod. If you do go look at old clips, you'll probably know right away what we're talking about.
Yep.
The quality of the video and the audio, as well as the quality of our own faces. We've just evolved, and we're glad you're here for the ride. So go give us a review, please. 5 stars. Like, subscribe. Follow us on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Apply to Spec Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. And we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye. Bye.